There's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know. Carl rings the bell and the members show to the GMP morning show. Featured guests will come and they will blow your mind. The audience will do so in kind. A little vanity mixed with some insanity on the morning show with GMP. Hey, Gumpers.
Hey, there's a radio going on in the background here, which I couldn't hear when I had my headphones on, singing along to the theme tune. Let me turn talk radio off in the UK. It's thoroughly depressing anyway. How are you this morning? Tudo bem? Como estás? Bom dia, alegria. Munson here from expatsportugal.com with the Good Morning Portugal live stream show and podcast. So yeah, let me know how you're doing. How was your weekend? Strange times in the world, of course. And I've been pondering, what's the right angle here? For us and what we're about. Expats Portugal, Good Morning Portugal. We're about helping people move to Portugal, and those who are already here enjoy the best life here. And of course, there are aspects of that which are to do with us looking after each other as a community and our mental health. And of course, we're not turning our back on anyone else in the world who needs help. So we will continue to share and report news that is of a practical and helpful nature. Jacqueline Branco called me late last week to talk about the effort over here, Caldas way, with helping supplies get to Ukraine. We will talk to her or a friend of hers who's involved and look at how we can scale that up to a more national level. And if you want to help, how you can get involved. But Portugal, let's face it. I mean, I was in Cascais over the weekend or on Saturday. A great Saturday there, meeting with colleagues. Jerry and Astrid, good morning to you both. Lovely day with you. Very helpful day. A great lunch too. Oh my word! And lovely to be in Cascais. And there in the bay, the huge flagpole, which presumably normally has the Portuguese flag on it, or the flag of other dignitaries coming across and being in the refined atmosphere. What a fine place it is, Cascais. But the Ukrainian flag flying there, and Portugal seems to be doing a great job. It would appear. Let me know what you think about that. But let's not dwell too much on the specifics of politics and the war. There are many places to do that, not least our own Bubble Off Centre podcast, which has moved. In case you didn't know, we are on the air tonight at 7:30, playing some music. Now, some of you older gumpers, you're all older than you used to be. We all are. That's how it works here, isn't it? But some of you who've listened for a long time might remember the Portugal playlist, which was a Portuguese music show, or it was a Good Morning Portugal show in the evening featuring Portuguese music. I mean, it was very rudimentary and basic, and it showed no great knowledge of Portuguese music and culture. But we were trying. Very trying, I hear you say. So we'll continue tonight. It'll be more general than a showcase for Portuguese music, but it will be that as well, in some part, a showcase and a platform for helping you learn more about Portuguese music. But the storm drain of this show, where there are things that aren't exactly the right thing to talk about here on the Good Morning Portugal show, we'll take them to the new 7:30 slot tonight. Yes, an evening show, which is much better for the likes of the OLP. Our daylight savings time started, and so now your show is on at 1:30 a.m. What does PDT stand for? I'm assuming that's a good thing and suitable for work. That is a time zone. I can't decipher that. If you can help me out with PDT, I mean, it's everyday language for American folk, isn't it? But that's not one that trips off my tongue. But that's better for you, right? That it's 1:30 than 2. You've gone back an hour, I think, haven't you? Spring back. Yes, you must. No, fall back, spring forward. Was it? Tell me. See, this is what happens with those time changes. Oh no, says Baldilocks. I just realized what you said. I'll be back in an hour. Okay, so the clocks have gone back then. Okay, yes, so it would have been 2:30, but it's 1:30. Okay, I think we're there now, aren't we? And Darren's here as well. Great that you should be here this morning with 2:30 Mountain Daylight Time. Oh, so it's PDT Pacific Daylight Time. So 2:30 is too late for me to be on and work in the morning. So just saying good morning and hi. And that was at 7:30. That was an hour and a bit ago. But so that when you do see this, Darren, if you do see this, your lovely dog Magnus watches the show, right? Because you sent the pictures to prove it. Here's Magnus jumping up to the mantelpiece, which I believe he's scratching up a little bit in his efforts to speak to taxi. A nice couple of, or 3 guitars there as well. 2 guitars, I think I can see by the fireplace there. The energy crisis not so serious that they're getting ready to be used as fuel, I hope, next to the fireplace. They're sacrilege. But Magnus gets quite excited when there's whistling, I think, or I don't know. Maybe it's the talk of his master's mention of his master's name. There you are, Deagle. Maybe he likes Deagle. Deagle's on the screen there at the moment on that shot. So maybe he's a big fan of Deagles as well, as we all are, of course. So thank you very much for that, Darren. That's fantastic of Magnus there. And then after the show, Magnus takes it easy, or is giving a comment here about what he heard on the Good Morning Portugal show with his bottom in the air, about to pass judgment on what we've been talking about. But maybe he wants to find out about his future here in Portugal as well. You can't blame him, can you? So maybe there needs to be a little pets group where they can talk to each other about what they're expecting in the new place. Thank you as well to Pam and to Prof. Prof's in this morning, I see as well. But Prof sent in a coffee poster, and so did Pam. Here they are. So we talked a little bit, didn't we, about the many coffees of, although, I don't know. I think people tend to drink maybe 5 of those on a regular basis. But look at that. That's all the things you could possibly, not all of them, actually. It's not all of them. That's quite a few of the coffees you can ask for here in Portugal. And here's another representation of it as well. Thank you very much for that. That's got nicely color coded from B Portugal. I think it's B Portugal. It looks like the graphics are quite similar to Visit Portugal, which we'll be showcasing today as well. You can upload your pictures when you visit Portugal. And I'm going to be encouraging people to do that today, as well, of course, of talking to Gilda at 9 o'clock. So Gilda here from EI, and I haven't got a ticker tape. I feel like I should have a ticker tape to tell you that this morning. I'll put this one up for now, and we'll come back to the announcement for Gilda being here from 9, of course, whereupon she will talk about anything to do with moving to Portugal and, visiting as well, but mainly helping you move to Portugal. And Portuguese culture. We love it when Gilda talks about Portuguese culture as well. So she's a great person to ask. Don't worry if your question, already here, visa's not an issue anymore. If you want to ask Gilda something, as one of our favorite Portuguese people, who obviously knows the culture very well, give us a shout, give us a question, put it in the chat and ask her a question about the culture as well. Or, what's going on in Portugal in these turbulent times as well. She's a great commentator, speaker on such matters, as I'm sure you know if you're a regular. So let's carry on with your comments. And T-Duck is also here. And Bon dia alegria Gampa Nación. I'll have to miss the show today. Oh, charming. But he'll be back at 7:30, as I said earlier on. And this is what we'll be doing together at 7:30. There you go. Bubble Off Centre radio show, mirth, music and memes, 7:30 tonight, which is a whole lot easier for some of our American, and other listeners around the world to tune into on that particular time zone, 7:30 Portugal time. And let's see what happens. There will be mention of Portugal in there, but it'll be a few of us from the community with some strange and outlandish views, some music, which hopefully we can agree on, and some outrageous memes and mirth and merriment to lift the spirits as well. So day 314 for the Duck household, and Pie Days. Mrs. Duck finally has her, I see, yes, 314 day. He loves his numbers, does T-Duck? You might have noticed that. Mrs. Duck finally has her appointment to get her temporary license at IMT this morning. Well, hey! The photograph they took of me, did they do I think they did fingerprints as well. I'm not sure. There's a biometric data washing around Portugal with all of us on it. Across Europe, probably, as this vast European Union immigration agency grows. So congratulations on that. Let us know how it goes. It'd be great to see that photo. They don't often take the most flattering of photographs. So good luck with that, Mrs. Duck. Stephen Wright, quote of the day. I'm writing a book. I'm almost finished. I numbered the pages. Now all I have to do is fill them in. I think we've all got a book or an autobiography like that, haven't we? That's brilliant. George Carlin, quote of the day. If lawyers are disbarred and clergymen defrocked, doesn't it allow that electricians, or doesn't it follow that electricians can be delighted and musicians denoted? Very good, George Carlin. He's everywhere, isn't he, George Carlin? Is he the one who said it's a club and you're not in it? Bom dia, passageiros. Oh, is that Humberto Delgado there? So, pilot hoje. Oh, this is good. We should do this in a airport style or captain style. Bom dia, passageiros. Sou piloto hoje e o capitão Mansão. Por favor, certifique-se de desligar todos os seus aparelhos eletrônicos na decolagem. Thank you so much for setting it up like that. Brilliant, Prof. And we also go into this now because, of course, it is some of this. If I can find the appropriate, what am I calling these? Vingle. There's a vingle for this. Played that on the webinar last Thursday. The webinar was great, and we were talking to Nuno Mendes on Thursday night of last week. And were we? Yes, we were. Wow, these weeks fly by. Yes, it was Nuno on insurance. That's right, because he's on the Premium Plus call this Thursday. I haven't asked him yet, but I'm hoping he'll be on the Premium Plus call. Of course. Okay, so we normally play a bit of music as people are coming in. It's like a hotel lobby, and I'll play one of Warren Sharm's tunes, which lifts the mood nicely. But I thought I'd play that Portuguese national anthem there, in case you weren't aware of what that was. And it was really quite strange. The Portuguese people, I think, didn't know whether to sit up or stand up or sit down. And everyone else was thinking, this is rather formal. It was a bit like, how incongruous it seems to be with a football match as well when the national anthems come on. It's like everyone's shouting and cheering and the emotions are running high at the beginning and there's a lot of anticipation. And then everyone has to be quiet, and not everybody is, of course, when the national anthem comes on. And, the players that reveal how well they know their national anthem or not, as the case may be, really changes the mood, doesn't it? Maybe it just focuses the mind a little bit. But anyway, yes, it was this. So today in Portuguese history, 1945, TAP, Transportes Português, was founded by Humberto Delgado, of course, who the airport is named after. It's got 3 names, and it's Portela, I think. It is also Lisbon Airport, and it is also by a political decree, fairly recently, I think, also known as Humberto Delgado, a future presidential candidate. Remember him? Yes, indeed, a very fascinating story with Senor Delgado. And in 1946, the first aircraft was purchased, a DC-3. Isn't that amazing? Can someone show us a picture of a DC-3? Anyone got that who's connected on WhatsApp? The airline began commercial services on the 19th of September 1946, performing an inaugural flight from Lisbon to Madrid, carrying a total of 11 passengers on one of its DC-3s. Wow. They may still be among us who could speak of that. I mean, that's a really special moment, isn't it? And it would have been in a more golden age of air travel when they would have worn suits to do that, I think, rather than tracksuit bottoms. Something comfortable, leggings and tracky bottoms for a flight, shorts for that matter, on a flight. And not zipping cargo pants where you could strip down according to which part of the world you're in. But they would have looked smart, wouldn't they? They've had lovely luggage and they'd have looked smart, and the crews tend to look smart, don't they? And the cabin crew as well. But that would have been a very different time, 1946. How exciting. And TAP entered the jet era, having procured an initial batch of 3 French-built Sud Aviation Caravels, an early twin jet airliner. How exciting those times must have been. And TAP Airline was formed as a state body, but privatized in 1953, nationalized in 75, and partially privatized on June 2015 and returned to majority public ownership in October 2015. Isn't it interesting how things change? Because I would have thought in the dictatorship, it would have been a publicly owned company. And then in the age of neoliberal capitalism, it would have been a private company. But it's the other way around by the look of it. Isn't politics a funny business? Well, it's a reflection of us human beings, isn't it? And our funny business. But let's not go there right now. Thank you, Prof, for that. That was superb. And giving me the chance to be a Portuguese airline captain as well. Bom dia, campers. Feliz segunda todos. Hey, hold on a minute, Banana Slug. Did you not watch Friday's show? Todos, I think there might be a typo. Great to have Philomena on Friday. ¿Cómo te he pasado? Another new way of asking how you're doing. How's it hanging? I will need, hold on a minute, what's this? To leave around 9 today. So do you want me to speed up a bit to go run errands in Lisboa? Replay is on my evening agenda. Glad to hear it. So good to have you here, my friend. Dimitri Martin quote of the day. People quoting their favorite quotables. I'm a bodybuilder, but I don't use weights. I use snacks. It's a different kind of building process. Yes! One more suited to this community, perhaps, as well. And I want to fly tap. And I've still got that brochure for you from the 80s, OLP. You wanted that, didn't you, that I found in one of my moves? Okay, so we're having triple berry pie today. I'm guessing there might be 3 berries in there with vanilla ice cream. Pie, yes, very good. It will be delicious. Oh, yes. Oh, yes, I love to bake and to cook. So day 314, and it happens to be the third of the 4. No, for you Americans, 314. For the rest of the world, I think, 14.3. But I get your drift there. It will be delicious. Oh, yes, I love to bake and to cook. Blueberry, Marionberry, and Marionberries, what are they, I wonder? And apologies for the Dalek sound effect. I don't know what's going on there. I'm hearing a little bit more of that. I probably might need a bit more earthing. Although I did read one of those zany out there weather reports, not the immediate climate, but the electrical sort of stuff. And I think there's a lot of that sort of higher activity going on. Could be that, could it not? And Chris is here. Hola, bon dia, todos. Fazia do dia Lucen, Stay a Little While, Child, from the album Zagora, 80s Brit funk band that is still going today. Tune in tonight. Do you know what? I think what we need to do is get a tune of the week from your particular taste in music there, Chris. 7:30 tonight. Let's play one of those from the jazz, funk, and soul canon as well. Thank you for that, Chris. Stay a little while, child. Know it well. Bon dia, kids. Cloudy here in the south with rain expected to start around 10 o'clock this morning. Okay, just as we finish. That'll be nice. And then, yes, taxi's here. And so is Sue's, by the way. So, yes, let's just connect Magnus and Taxi for a moment. So there's Magnus watching the Good Morning Portugal show. And there's Taxi on the picture as well. Play nicely, you two. And that reminds me, what's that question? Is it Quora where you answer questions for people? I answered the question, why do dogs sniff each other's bottoms? You can find me with quite a popular answer to that. And I created a Greek myth to go with it. Isn't it funny? The things that we're capable of that we didn't know formerly that we were capable of. Went down quite well, actually. Quora, funny old place, isn't it? I flew tap and was quite impressed. I think you'll like it, from James to the OLP there. So, yes, a little bit of a review for TAP this morning. That's good to know. Take Another Plane is also one of the reviews of TAP. But don't be like that, people who say things like that. Brian Taylor, Bon dia Gumpers from a chilly but sunny UK. Good morning to you in the UK there. And Chris Smith, who seems to be joining us a little bit more often these days, girding his loins for a Portuguese visit. And I'm liking your research. It's very thorough, Chris, and you've got a lot of pals who've been here by the look of it. Hola, bon dia all. It's too dang early for this. And you are a bluegrass musician, Chris. I hope you don't mind me blowing your cover. But I was trying to find a video to watch of you, and you've been doing it a long time, haven't you? Can you send us your proudest moment, possibly, that we can maybe play on the show? That'd be great. We'd love to do that. Thank you for tuning in. What time is it for you, Chris? And you may have already gone. And these are the comments before the show even started, I think. So spent Sunday exploring gorgeous Faro. So many amazing streets. Yes, the old town's lovely, isn't it? And buildings. Ended the day at sunset at a quaint chapel overlooking the beach at Portuguese. I'm going to go with there. So, that sounds lovely. What else have people been up to this weekend? I was in Cascais on Saturday. On Friday, actually, after the show, went to the new children's playground with my kids. Not on my own. Not after I hurt myself on that one at Foz de Relio. But amazing facility over there in Caldas. Kids loved it, out and about for hours in the fresh air, as they should be, and as they are well suited to. They absolutely loved it. So well done, Caldas de Rainha, Câmara Municipal, for recreating the park there. Cascais on Saturday. Came back. What did we do on the way back? We stopped off somewhere. I can't remember now. Isn't it strange? We came back via IKEA. Would you believe it? So it's on the way. You get onto the AA, and there at Loures is IKEA. So we decided I know it sounds strange, but that went down really well with the kids too. So IKEA on Saturday night, and we bought 3 things, and then of course had to run the gauntlet of the biscuit area and nearly spent as much in biscuits and confectionery as we managed to save by not spending too much inside the shop. But we really enjoyed that, actually. And yesterday, a nice easygoing day and lovely to meet up with a few pals, including Cindy B and the Catmulls over here, and on this side of things here on the Silver Coast. A lovely day yesterday as well, and she's here as well. Love your place, Cindy B. You and JC there. Bon dia Alegria Gumpers. Happy Pie Day. Yes, it is if you're American. It's 1403 though. In Europe, isn't it? Interestingly, okay. It does sound beautiful. And midlife crisis, love your history quotes. We absolutely do. Today in Portuguese history, it deserves its own vingle, doesn't it? It's very vinglesome. Positivity, service, and celebration. Yay. Is that a summary of what I was trying to get at earlier on there, Banana? Well, that if it wasn't, it is. Okay, I'm going to co-opt that. And yeah, we're about positivity, service, and celebration here. Helping people move to Portugal, helping those who are already here, hoping and to keep people's spirits up as well, a bit of celebration, a bit of positivity. And of course, helping out where practical help can be helped out, and not too much on the theorizing and ideological clashing. You can get that anywhere, can't you? On the internet these days, it would seem, and in family life, it would seem as well. Hola boa semana, pessoas. I clearly got it out in one go there. Rebel Mama's here. How you doing, Rebel Mama? Are you in London yet? I'd love a photo or two from London if and when you can manage to do that for us. Bon dia Gumpers, just dropping in to say good morning. We are on our way. Isn't that fantastic? Spending a few days in France, then 2 days in Spain. We arrive in Tavira on Friday. That's great news, Jim. Well done. The McDonald household, looking forward to having you say that you're here in Tavira in Portugal. Won't that be an amazing thing to have followed your journey over this last year or so, maybe longer, Jim, that we've been conversing in this way. Jersey P's here. How you doing, Jersey? Still haven't finished that beer or those 2 beers, or is it 3? Hola, bon dia, Carl, and all the friends on the GMP. They're lovely to have you here, Jersey P. How's it going? And PDT is Pacific Daylight Time, so thank you very much for that, everybody. Spring forward, fall back. I hesitated, but that's how it is. Bon dia e boa semana para todos from João Dias, real estate consultant in Portugal. Nicely done there, João. I have a question for Gilda about VFS Global. I'm starring that, and we're coming back to it. How you doing, David? Thank you for that picture of you and your man cave buddies. Yes, very charming is my immediate response. And my response back to you lot was lock up your grandmothers. Anyway, I hope you had a good time. Recap. In 1973, 3 workers had been murdered by a paramilitary force during a strike. Oh, my God. On May the 2nd, 1974, an assembly of tap workers demanded the purging of all fascists in the company. Wow. Thank you for that, Rebel Mama. Amazing. Who was a PDT time zone all my life until Portugal. Michelle's here, not in PDT, in 80 Aussie time. Bon dia, Carl, and everyone. And to me, Aussie time is always approximately 12 hours from where we are, right? She may tell me otherwise. Rebel Mama, PDT to PT, another example of us simplifying our lives. Why not have fewer letters? Why not just go to NOW when it comes to time zones? I'm suggesting respectfully to everybody and the governments of the world. It is now, everybody. And where are you? You are here. Get on with it. Good morning, people, from Lee McGrady. So good to talk to Lee about that new business forum on Thursday. Thank you for that, Lee. And I suspect you've had some inquiries because people were asking me about your contact details. Excellent stuff. Gilda, thanks for your email answers. What's one way of putting it, isn't it? I think he probably is, Chris. Bon dia, Carl, and everyone. Hey, Catherine is here, everybody. Great to see you as well, Kate, yesterday. Today is the 1-year anniversary of our arrival in Portugal. Still love it here. Kate, I want to come and see you soon, by the way. Today is the 1-year anniversary of our arrival in Portugal. Still love it here. Still many mysteries. Yeah. And I suspect that's not going anywhere soon, the whole mysterious aspects of life here. We still have that coming up to our 5th anniversary here, Rebel Mama. So I think, yeah, I mean, I'm guessing you're happy with that, the mystery and how life unfolds in that way. I love it. I really do. And the more I find out, it's like, okay, yeah, we've learned something, but the more we also discover that there's more to find out, it seems. this mysterious mistress that is Portugal, hiding away and revealing herself to us in little bits, little delightful bits, as our journey here continues. So yeah, that sounds great, Rebel Mama. Congratulations, parabéns. Bom dia todos from Antonio F as well. Thank you, Antonio, for being here. And spring forward and fall forward. What? I believe Pacific daytime, PDT. What? We are in Cascais. Still an improvement to good old Cardiff weather. Yeah, but it was peeing down, wasn't it? It was a very April. And aim abril daguas mil. Okay, so we're getting that April weather already here, Susie Q. And it was very grey and wet, but still, Cascais is so beautiful. And I'm aware that I've been saying Cascais wrongly, incorrectly, I think, all the time I've been saying it. So can we have some phonetic translations on the people who know? I've been going with Cascais, with like a caix de sodre, because it is the Cascais, isn't it? It's the key of Cas there. Cascais. Have I got that right, Cascais? Or should it be more of a s than a sh at the end there? That will be driving the pets of the Good Morning Portugal community mad as well. Shh, come over to the Magnus. Come on, boy. And taxi. Bon dia, Jimmy, Peggy, while you're about it. Bon dia, todos from Jean as well this morning. And yeah, Antonio sending congrats as well to Rebel Mama. Jean, how are you in New Jersey this morning? What's it like over there? And yeah, happy anniversary to Rebel Mama from Jean as well. We are on our 2-week anniversary. Brilliant. Still pinching ourselves. Oh, and figuring out where to find the local farmers markets. They keep appearing. Yes, and remember, of course, that was your comment before, Jean, as well, wasn't it, about PDT and PT? But yeah, the reason things aren't advertised. Where are we? Where have you gone, Jean? The reason things aren't advertised in Portugal is because Portuguese people know when they're on. That's what Ralph told us, wasn't it, a few weeks back? And it's part of the mystery. It's part of the adventure and the journey. It can be a little bit infuriating sometimes, can't it? Because you just want to know when and where. But ask a local Portuguese person who also might not know, but at least you will have made a friend. Fresh milk near. Is that a way of remembering how to pronounce something? Or is that your shopping list and you've just typed that in the wrong place this morning, Susie Q? Fresh milk near. Or is it a code? Are the sort of espionage operatives of the world now using, instead of the Times in the classified section, are they putting things into, is there a Chinese operative waiting for that message from Susie Q, who pretends to be from Cardiff, now living in Cascais, when in fact you're an operative of a government somewhere in the world, and the code has now been released, fresh milk near. I wonder, let's just leave that hanging there. And who doesn't like to leave things hanging there first thing in the morning? Friend who is just about to buy a house in Portugal, but he only rides motorbikes and is thinking of pulling out now because of the problem with transferring it to the Portugal license. Is there anything he can do? Well, Gilda might know about that on her arrival. I'm going to wait for me. I can have a sip of tea now she's here. But that's a good question. And I got a message, actually, couple of things to do before we start with Gilda that I've just been reminded there. Currency update. This came in on Friday. Forgive me for not remembering to do this on Friday. Spartan FX, Sarah Davey, thank you for this. The US dollar euro combo and pairing and the GBP, I was going to call it the Good Morning Britain / euro, are down by. So let me just do that correctly now. The dollar euro and the pound, GB pound euro, were down 2% last week. And on 200,000 euros, that's a difference of $4,700 and £3,700. So that's a big difference, as I'm sure you'll agree. That's not just coffee money, is it? However, we are still at good levels for both pairs. We are trading at pre-COVID prices. Still seeing lots of volatility, says Sarah. We've seen exchange rates move by 2% in one day. Therefore, it is important to be prepared, she says. And just a couple of pointers then. 5 altogether, as well as letting you know you can open a free account with Spartan FX and get in touch because they will help you with all of the above those combinations of currencies and others, of course, all international currencies. I believe they deal with. You can buy your euros in advance of a house purchase. They remind us. visa payment or move to Portugal if the time is right for you. So you don't have to wait for those milestones. You can do it before. You don't have to have a Portuguese bank account to be able to take advantage of the rate. They can hold euros on account free of charge for you. You don't need to have all your money available. This is an interesting one. You can buy your euros with just a 10% deposit. Now, that's pretty good, isn't it? If you're waiting for the rest of the money to come and you're seeing a good opportunity to buy, you can do it with just a 10% deposit. Think about when you started your journey, what was the rate? Excuse me, if the rate is better now, that is a good position to be in. And finally, don't let circumstances decide the rate for you. Take control of your overseas money transfers. Thank you very much for that, Sarah. And before we go to Gilda, just one more thing, as Colombo used to say. And that was a message from the ACP, British driving license holders. You have an extension, a further extension. I'm trying to find this message in my bulging sack here of incoming mail. Let's have a look. Oh, there we go. No, that's not it. Oh, no, there it is, right there. Okay, so we have a message regarding UK driving licenses. Thanks, Isadora from ACP for this. The IMT published a communication informing that this is for applications. No, that's not it. The important information is that the UK driving license exchange has been extended until the 31st of December 2022, until the end of the year now, okay? So, with things going on in all sorts of areas, that's pretty good news for some of the Brits, isn't it? So the driving license exchange for Brits extended, or UK driving license holders, let's call them that, because that is correct, extended until the 31st of December this year. On such matters of moving back and forth globally, whether it's from the UK or the US or anywhere else in the world, here she is, everybody. Gilda Pereira of EI. Hey, is here.
Hey,
Hey,
how are you?
I'm very well. And I don't mean to be rude, but the big question on everyone's lips is, how is Mandela, Gilda, before we come to you?
He's fine. He had a nice weekend. He behaved, this week.
Well, that makes a nice change, doesn't it? But
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear it. He's not eating anything that he shouldn't have eaten or anything silly like that.
He tries to. Only that we try to keep him more in between the kitchen and the living room, so he's not going around the house, because it's more difficult to keep an eye on him.
And he's very spoiled by Portuguese standards, isn't he? A lot of Portuguese dogs, mine too, I've taken this on. My dogs live outside. I mean, they are just by the back door, and they live in luxury with their own kennel and cushions in the kennel and everything. But he's a house dog, is he? He's too precious to be.
Yes.
Right. And presumably, your parents, grandparents must think, what is going on here? That creature should be outside. Is that a change? Is that a Portuguese cultural change that dogs now live more indoors than they used to?
Yes. My parents always say it, but he's a dog. What is he doing here? Treat him like a dog.
Yes, funny. Yes, okay. I suspected as much. That's interesting to know. And we will come to you with other questions of a cultural nature, because we do like your insight in such matters. But what's going on in your world? I mean, these are busy times. A lot can change in 7 days in migration and geopolitical matters, can't it? And conflict around the world. How's it looking from your point of view in the EI office, Gilda?
Well, first, as I told last week, we had many Russians trying to come to Portugal. Yeah. Now suddenly it's like they gave up. I think that they find an easiest way. They are going through Finland to come out. Yeah, they are going through Finland by road for the borders. So it's like they stopped calling, and even the process that were running, they kind of stopped answering. So I think that they find easiest ways to come to Europe.
Yes. Okay. All right. And that'll be via Finland. And on the Ukrainian side, what's happening? I mean, you're talking about Russian nationals, aren't you?
Yes.
Rather than Ukrainian nationals. And of course, a reminder there that our conflict is with these crazy politicians and madmen rather than the everyday folks and people who are our brothers and sisters caught up in this. So that will be Russian people as well as the Ukrainian people. But it looks like Portugal has got that, as much as is possible in a difficult situation like this, pretty well covered. People coming to Portugal from the Ukraine, and people being, supported and processed in a useful way coming into the country.
Yes, Portugal is very supportive, and it's a very welcome and warm country in receiving refugees. As it was with Syria, it's now with Ukraine's, and I think it's more with Ukraine's because we had, the second large foreign community is from Ukraine, so we already know lots of Ukrainians, and it's like they are very peaceful and they are very hardworking. So it's a kind of nationality that we get along very well. That's why we really welcome them. And we find places for them to stay. We are looking for jobs for them. We are looking for schools for the kids. We are giving them the NIFs, the social security numbers, everything that you are struggling to have, they are giving them for free. And like as soon as they arrive. Yeah,
superb. Okay, can you imagine that? Here's your NIF number. After all you've been through, here's a NIF number. Don't forget to give it in the supermarket. Amazing. And should anyone be tuned in, who's arrived here, we'd love to hear from you. And obviously, if it's anything you need help with as well, ask questions here. But that would be amazing to have Ukrainian people talking about their experience here and letting us know how we can help better in this situation. David has a question for Gilda, for you, Gilda, about VFS Global. What should we try and guess? Let's use our psychic powers. What do you think he's going to ask about VFS Global? What's the most common question about VFS Global? You're smiling already, I can see.
It depends which VFS.
Okay, good answer. It depends. Do you remember that time when I asked you how to say it depends in Portuguese? And you said, well, it depends, which it depends you're trying to say. We never did get to the bottom of that. So thanks for your email answers to Chris as well. Yes, we've checked it on Mandela. That's a very indelicate way of putting it, Chris, I have to say, but he's fine. Yes, and the motorbike driving license. Yes, the backstory on this, thank you, Deborah, for this, is that when people exchange their driving licenses, they often lose, don't they, some of the classifications that they've enjoyed. So they were able to drive an articulated lorry, a jumbo jet, and a motorbike or something like that on a British license. And they come here and then they get a basic one. And the inference or the implication is that they have to then retest and retrain for these other classifications. Is that likely to change, or do you think it's going to stay just like that?
I think it's going to change. I didn't hear about any change.
Okay, all right. Well, that's all we can go on, really, isn't it? But next time you're talking to the Prime Minister, perhaps you could suggest that to him. Okay, that he stops messing about and sorts that out for people. Because that is a massive pain, isn't it? Can you imagine that?
It is. And I have a problem. Because I have a client that is a company, a bus company, and he wants to hire drivers from other countries. And I told him, okay, I don't mind to do the visa process, but the visa process, I guarantee you, it's not going to be the problem here. The problem here, it's going to be the driving license. And he was like, no, I don't know. No, it's not going to happen. It's just, just bring the guys here and we'll get it sorted. And I told him it's not going to be that easy. And of course, that the guys now are here for a couple of months and nothing happened. And
that isn't good, is it?
It's not good.
That is a problem, because there they are, people ready to engage in the economy, and that's not being allowed because of some silly bureaucratic thing. And fair enough. I can understand why a country might want to test people to their standard. And of course, that's part of what the EU is about, isn't it? Is standardization of things, so you don't have these problems. and I don't know where they've come from, and you don't have to say, but it doesn't make sense, does it? You think if it was a matter of testing them, they could expedite that and have it happen so that these people can get busy and start moving people around the country. I suspect if they wanted to drive to Ukraine and pick people up, that could be a way of getting around it. they could prove themselves by going and picking people up from Ukraine at the moment. And that's what we're saying,
you don't imagine the lack of people that exist to drive buses in this country and in Europe in general. And they even offer the how do you say like the courses.
Oh, yes, the training.
Yeah, and they offer the training. They are now trying to get a woman to do it. They do a lot. It's a challenge.
Well, they're that desperate. They're even asking women to drive buses now.
Yes.
I'm just joking, everybody. That was a joke. That was a joke. No need for anyone.
And you know, the last thing that they did was a slogan like, "Are you single? Come and drive a bus because you are going to meet a lot of people."
They're trying everything. They are trying everything.
That's how desperate they are.
Okay, let's help them with this situation. So please, can you put in the chat and the comments your sweeteners for bus drivers? Okay, come to Portugal as a bus driver and X, Y, or Z. So you can have as much bacalhau as you can eat for one thing. That'll be one. That'll be my first suggestion. I don't know if that's going to work. I mean, they've already tried. If you're single, come and meet a partner whilst driving a bus. What else can we do to bring the bus drivers of the world to Portugal? That's an amazing situation. And you're saying that this is a European problem. There is a shortage of bus drivers in Europe. That's incredible, isn't it? But maybe they're thinking to themselves, I don't want to go into this industry because it's going to be driverless vehicles in about 10 years. So it's going to be a short career. Had you thought of that?
Maybe, I don't know.
I don't know either, but we shall see. Let's find out this morning see what people think. Taking a second load of small items to the consignment shop today and might rent a second section of the shop. Well, so everything's happening over there. We have the evidence of that as well. How are things going? Have we progressed at all? I'll do Gary's Porto pictures later on, because we didn't manage to get those in. But is everything going well there? Look, the packing's looking good. Have we got any further developments further on from that, Suze, over at your place in Finland? And I think you've got an update on what's going on in Finland. We mentioned it before, Gilda did. Bon dia, glad to be back. Everybody claps when we landed in Portugal and the UK, but not a sound when we landed in France. So maybe the French think that's a bit base and crass to be clapping when one lands. Left my backpack at a restaurant as a bit jaded. Instead of doing a bomb alert, they safely guarded it for me. That's nice. That's nice in Cascais, isn't it? We are truly blessed to be here for sure. So well done, Susie Q, for not having a building evacuated. Bit jet lagged, and you left your backpack at the restaurant. Shout out to them. Good on them. If you want to mention their names, you're very welcome. And this is Cascais, Gilda, and my pronunciation, I fear, might have been off of Cascais. Is it Cascais or Cascais?
Cascais.
Oh, I've been right all along. I'm so glad to hear that. But I bet you somebody argues with us anyway. Cascais. Okay, but not too much of a shh. It's halfway between a s and a shh, proper full-on shush, I think, isn't it? Cascais. Why are you laughing at me? Is that funny?
No.
I think you're laughing at me. Bon dia. From Alvor, Algarve, Swara, and Basel. But I've got to say, your gardening setup. Can I get your permission to show the video of your growing, please, Base Orbit and Swara? That was so amazing, the video you sent of your vertical gardening and your lovely plot that you want to recreate over here in Portugal. May I please show that on the gardening show tonight? 6:15, everybody, on the gardening show. And we're going to do some drought proofing in the garden, water saving ideas tonight from 6:15 on this channel. Bon dia, Carl and all from Raphael. Look at him there, isn't he lovely? He's in. And there was if you want to say hello to anybody or ask them any questions, Gilda, just jump in, all right? Because you can ask questions too, you know. There was a very handsome man named Antonio out to dinner with 2 Danes. I thought it could be you. He could have been one of the 3 musketeers. Well, I wouldn't be surprised if Antonio F was a very handsome musketeer sort of person. Oh, Intermarché, Gilda. Are they called the Mosqueteiros or something like that? Is that their strapline? Shopping Musketeers.
Yes, it was something to do with that, but now they don't use that anymore.
They still use it on my shop, but I think the San Martino de
Yeah.
Porto Intermarché is a little bit behind the times. Not a no, it's not a complaint, but it's kind of, it does seem like it hasn't quite, well, it's not the cutting edge of retail. I'll leave it there because I think you've been spotted, Antonio F, on someone else's video platform. You've been unfaithful to us here. It's a glorious day here in the Bay. Torbados, everybody, over there on the English Riviera. Chris is here this morning. Morning, coach. How are you? Other coach. That's the boxing coach. Great to see you here, Chris. It wasn't definitely me. Oh, Chris, have you done any Portuguese recipes? I want to ask you because Chris is a very excellent chef and cook as well. Definitely wasn't me, says Antonio F. I knew it when you said handsome. Oh, Antonio, I'm sure that's not true. Sunny and warm in Alvor this morning. Got some surfing in yesterday. Morning sun and perfect waves for us beginners. How lovely. Please let us show your garden on the show tonight. Went bowling last night in Alvor. Had a blast with our Portuguese neighbours. That's the spirit. Meeting up, making some new Portuguese BFFs. Excellent, well done. And how did you win at the bowling? And it was exactly the same sort of as American bowling. Man cave meetup, 4 members in one place. Yeah, I say, lock up your grandmas, having a lunch and a few beers. That was lovely to receive that photograph. But you're so rude, you lot. Finland military training with NATO in Iceland now. And Monday noon will be weekly emergency siren, slowing down on my packing and selling anyway. I will get there when I get there. Wow, Suze, a sobering sentiment or report there from Finland. And what if they gave a war and nobody came? That is my dream. Eliminate the military everywhere. Yes, it's a vision I would support, Rebel Mama. Give peace a chance. Bon dia todos from Anna, having a bit of a lay-in this morning. And thank you for being here, Anna, and having a leisurely morning with us. Owen's in as well. Mañana pasores bonitos. Mañana, is that tomorrow? Espero que todos tenham uma ótima semana. So he's wishing us a good week there. Gilda, you're laughing again at our Portuguese, I think, aren't you? You are. She so is, isn't she? She is. And she's pretending not to. Don't want to confuse PTT with PTSD. No, never. And James is here on the bike in the gym. Static rollers in the cellar. So here for 30 minutes if I don't expire first. Well, just let us know, James, if we need to call the emergency services. We will need just DM me with your address. That sounds a bit serious. Go steady. Maybe she shouldn't be exercising alone in the cellar. Does Portugal, so one for you then, Gilda, have you been to a St. Patrick's Day celebration on the 17th of March with some of your Irish customers?
No, but I was in St. Patrick's celebration in Canada when I went there once. But okay. Not here, not in here.
It does
maybe
happen,
maybe in a Irish pub.
Yes, and that sounds like we're waiting for an invitation there, I think. Man cave, so OLP, it does happen. I've seen, there are Irish bars. There are Irish bars everywhere, and Portugal, Lisbon is no exception. I've just noticed I need to change the color on my light. It's not reflecting my skin tone very well. Mrs. M was here earlier on. Man cave massive. Yay, Man cave massive from Chris this morning. And perfect spelling. There, I think, is that for Owen's earlier work? Oh, nice one. Thank you. Good morning to you, Nuno. Oh, can you do the 9 o'clock session this week, Nuno? Gilda, you were amazing joining us last Thursday evening. Thank you so much for being there for that. Where are these questions? We want questions as well as all this chat, everyone, which is nice.
They already know everything.
I think you're right. Oh, no, here's one. Base Orbit, wonderful farmers market at the fishing docks by Praia Alvor Sunday mornings. And B is here. Look, this is on a migration matter. Thank you, Colin and Gilda. 2 months here and have my CEF appointment this afternoon at 2 o'clock. Wish me luck. So, yeah, boa sorte to you,
Yeah,
B.
boa sorte. Let us know how it went.
And I was talking to some of your other customers only yesterday, Gilda, and I repeated what you said last week, which was basically to do everything you said. Take A4 paper, not American size paper. Take the staples out, arrange it nicely in a folder, and just follow the instructions you've been given by EI, and you should be fine. Is there anything you want to add to that as a little reminder for B and those facing the CEF appointments in the near future?
No, but that is for the consulate.
Oh, beg your pardon. Okay, not for the CEF appointment. Doesn't matter so much, does it, once you're here?
No, it's that was for the consulate. For the self appointment, it's easier. It's the bank statements, the rental agreements, the health insurance, the NIF number, and I guess that's it.
Okay,
The Portuguese bank statement. Hmm.
there you go. Well,
The
good luck. But
passport, of course.
and passport, of course. Take everything you can think of is the advice from Rebel Mama.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Here's to planning my next Portugal trip this week. What is the best way to get from Lisboa to the Algarve? I'm thinking of Alpha Pendula. I suspect you would agree with that, wouldn't you, Gilda? It's a
Yes.
beautiful train journey. And that's if you want to go by public transit. Of course, a drive in a hire car is a lot of fun as well. Taking the old road, though, the Route 66 road through the Alentejo. That's a fantastic trip as well, isn't it? And you might take in Villanova de Milfontes or something on the way down. Anything else you would suggest? Alentejo, Algarve, on a slow road trip down to the Algarve there, Gilda?
Well, I don't like going. I don't like long trips on cars. So
Oh, so the Alpha Pendula would be perfect for you, or the
yeah,
A2. Just get on
or
the
yeah,
A2.
or the A2.
The A2. Not cheap though, is it? How much does it cost these days to go from Lisboa to Algarve?
Yeah, it's quite expensive, but
But hopefully, we'll put some pressure on the government right here, right now, to lower the toll. Let's, you get a lot of tax on the petrol. Petrol prices going up. Can we please have a reduction on the tolls, or just make them free? For example. Okay, Carlos is here. Bom dia todos. Feliz segunda-feira do adorável São Martinho de Porto. Loving it in the bay here. We'll see you soon, Carlos and Lisa. And bom dia. Driving license question. Have you ever seen a policeman on the road in the Algarve trying to understand how I'm going to drive a car while waiting for residents and then exchange the driving license? So it sounds like Coin Open, who I thought was Colin at first, but this is Coin Open, a crypto person, I think, explaining to a Portuguese police officer the situation. The Portuguese police officer, when they stop you, just want to see your driving license and vehicular documents. They're probably not wanting a long conversation about how you would exchange your driving license if you could, but you can't get an IMT appointment, etc., etc. But I guess all you can do is just take your most relevant emails printed out with you and just open up a concertina folder and say to the policeman, how can I help you? And they'll probably just say, it's a go. It's fine. But yeah, to carry everything possible. It's a bit like the self appointment, Coin Open. Take everything with you and just be up to date as much as you can be on the process whilst awaiting the authorities to call you in to do the necessary. Bom dia a todos. Estou muito feliz em fazer parte deste grupo. Por favor, the likes. Yes, press the like button, basically, from Raj there. You could just use your regular. Oh, yes, in the meantime, of course, I took that for granted there. And a bon dia for you from Michelle there in Australia, Gilda.
thank you.
And can I get a NIF online? So what's the EI way of getting a NIF, please, for the OLP who's asking that question here?
You can get an if online if you have a sponsor.
Okay. How does that work then? Can you say a little bit more about that, please?
You need the power of attorney from a sponsor to get an if online.
You need the representation on this side of the wall. So yes, technically, but so you'll need a representative to do that for you. Who might become your fiscal representative as well?
Yes.
Yeah, see. Okay, and there you go, OLP to Jean. Alpha Pendula is fast. It's 3 hours from Lisbon to Faro and has a good price between 23.5 and 31.40 euros. Take the IC. Taking the IC. Oh, the intercity trains, they're slower, aren't they? And cheaper, but still a nice way to travel. But I mean, if you haven't been on the Alpha Pendula, I recommend it. Superb train system. On those high-speed trains. Fantastic. Okay, Coin Open. Yes, that's legit only for 3 months, I guess. What if I have to drive for 2 to 3 years, huh? Quite a long way till residence at the moment. Okay, so what to do there then, Gilda, in that instance? Why is that residence taking so long there? We need to find out the nationality, don't we, of Coin Open and why this might be the case.
Is waiting for 3 months for the residence?
No, quite a long. You're gonna have to give us a bit more info if that's a question that you want answering. I mean, it might just be an observation on the situation, but if you actually want some answers there, Coin Open, give us the specifics, and we'll see if we can do better on that in getting a better answer for you there. But we need to know a little bit about your nationality. I think would help as well, and what the actual problem is there. And from another angle, Coin Open, yes, I see traffic police at peak hours. So I think that's a little life hack there from Raj. Taxi, enjoy sitting outside this morning in the sun at 3 degrees. That's warm in Finland. And I really feel sorry for Russian people, says Deborah. There are so many victims of this war, and it's easy to forget that many Russian people are suffering too, of course. And I think many hundreds of thousands are heading from Ukraine to Russia. This is a complex situation. It's not as binary, is it, and polar as some people might expect, or as it's reported. Rebel Mama, personally, I'm not worried. I have a copy of the email from the IMT. This is the thing you need, isn't it, in my glove box, saying that I started in September. Not my fault. They are slow. Carl just mentioned December 21st extension for the Brits. So, yeah, whether you're US or UK, there's a couple of strategies for you. This was the VFS question from David. Is it not possible to call VFS Global? She's smiling already. I paid the invoice or the postal label 2 weeks ago. They claimed to send me the label, but they didn't, and I can't get it sorted out. We're hearing the frustration from David. What to do, Gilda?
It is possible to call them or to send an email explaining the situation.
Right. Okay. So then what follows there, David, is what is the problem? It is possible to call, right? But maybe you haven't done that, or you're not getting a response, David.
But then you should email them.
Okay, then email. So do the call, and if you don't get answered, do the email.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Antonio, I love trains, so I'm looking forward to the Alpha Pendula. The cool train ride is more interesting to me than the 30 minutes. Yes. Photos, please, Jean, from that. And yeah, Portugal has a big heart, going back to what you were saying before and the response to the Ukrainians. The Ukrainian people, I will be donating what I can't sell or bring to organizations helping refugees. 1,000 Ukrainians in Finland so far there. Thanks for that report, Suze. Thanks, Joel F. and Banana Slug, for being so welcoming to our first time in Portugal, Base Orbit and Swara. That's so lovely to hear. We have such a wonderful community here. And I'm a Brexit refugee. That's how I'm going to read that, V. Thank you very much for that. The Intercidade is a train as well, but has more stops, so it takes more time. And is not as fancy as the AP there. I think you pretty well covered the issue. So between us, we've done it. The issue is you can have a request to the IMT only after you get a residence. In my case, that's 1 to 2 years away. Thanks for your answer. So I think happy customer of the community there, Coin Open. I wish the best for our Russian and Ukrainian brothers and sisters. I can't imagine the kind of struggles they're going through right now. Yes, well said, Moaz. Good morning to you. And so refreshing to see how Europe is reacting to the humanitarian crisis around the world, indeed. Garvo's here. I've heard a lot of different stories about people who get 7 to 70 and have to renew their driving licenses. Some say it's a medical and simple exchange. It's not like those pictures that were coming up on my Google ads, thankfully, for the driving license anyway, Gary. Some say it's a medical and simple exchange. Others have been asked to take an assessment, etc. What happens when you get to 70 for a Portuguese person, Gilda? And is it that you have to get one of those little cars that sounds like a tractor and drive around in the countryside in a 2-seater when you get to 70? Sorry, that was just my silly joke there. What happens? What really happens when you get to 70? You have to retake your test.
It's just an exam. Only, I think it's just a medical exam.
Not a driving test.
No.
Oh, that's a relief, isn't it, Garvo? But Gary's one of these people who can drive a bus. If your clients are looking for another driver, Garvo can do that. I still think he's got the pea green blazer to go with the job. Look at this. I think we do want a book, because this was commented upon last week, your appearance and your glow, Gilda. And we did ask you, didn't we, what's your secret? And you said you'd stopped eating. Have you started eating again? I hope so.
You know what? Do you remember the face that I did when you told me that you would stop drinking for 1 year?
Gilda, everybody remembers that face.
But the truth is that I don't drink alcohol since the New Year's Eve.
Really?
Really?
So that's the, yeah. So what happened? You looked at me like that, and now other Portuguese people are looking at you like that when you say it. Is that right?
Yes.
You get the Portuguese look of disbelief when you say, "I don't drink. I'm not drinking."
And me, a wine lover.
Okay. So, well, I think that's part of it, isn't it? I mean, we do have to face the fact, don't we, that alcohol is a toxin. And I'm not poo-pooing it or, looking down on drinking at all. I can't wait till July when I start drinking beer and wine again. But I can live without it. I mean, that's the thing. It's been fairly easy for me. It's not a biggie, but it does take its toll on people, doesn't it? Alcohol. It's not a kind drug, really. I think to people's appearance necessarily. So are you saying that's part of your secret?
Yes.
Okay, there you go. And the book may follow. The teetotal approach to looking awesome, working title. Is there any way to keep both licenses? There are ways I've heard of. It's not meant to happen, though, is it, Gilda?
Yeah, but there's always a way. Like,
not that we necessarily approve of or would recommend here, but we do hear of such things.
Yeah, then you go to UK and you say, "Oh, I lost my driving license," and then you get it back.
For example, okay. Why do you think at 70 you are senile? That's a very personal question, isn't it? No, Gary was just asking, I think, or maybe I've got the intonation of that question incorrectly. It's just a government thing here, and I think other countries do this. When you and in ways you could sometimes, when you do see elderly drivers, you're thinking, well, that's probably quite a good idea that people are retested at maybe 70 and 80. 90 and 100, for example. I'm not sure Gary has self-assessed in that way. He may say more. You get residency after your CEF appointment, which is within 3 months of arrival for US folks anyway. Oh, Gilda, that's what this was. Yeah, we're guessing that Coin Open is on a reunification or some other method of coming. I'm confused. Welcome to the club here, V. Is Portugal stopping automatic transfer of driving license? It depends where you're from, right, Gilda? On the timescale of that, it's not stopping
automatic. It's stopping automatic transfer. It was not. It was never automatic.
Yeah, you have to do it though, don't you? You have to do. Yeah, I mean, I think maybe we're confusing requirement with automation there, V. You do have to swap your driving license. You can't go carry on driving on your own country's driving license forever in Portugal, and that's where Coin Open's question has arisen from. So no, it's not automatic, but it is a requirement to exchange your driving license. It's an exchange, lol, but for me, I lost mine and then found it, so I do have two. Oh, really? So there you go. Rebecca the Candilo, I have, but when you come, you can drive on your US license. At least I have, with rental cars. Rental cars, we observe in Portugal, are not that fussy. If you show them anything that looks vaguely like a driving license, they tend to accept it, don't they? So that might include the Fisher Price driving license that you got when you were 3 as well. But they don't seem that fussy. Quite frankly. Happy anniversary from Moaz to you, Rebel Mama. 1 year here. That's a great milestone. We should have a little tune we play for people's anniversaries of being in Portugal. It's a really important moment, so well done. Take a look at the CP website. The CP website is fantastic for planning train journeys. Good shout there, Antonio. And I think I'm going to avoid the comments because I think you're all helping each other out nicely. We'll go back to this driving license inquiry for 70-year-olds. When I exchanged my license, I had to tell them I wanted to keep my HGV, so that's a heavy goods vehicle and a public service vehicle entitlement. I had to have a medical and a cognitive ability test where you press buttons to sounds and colors. And presumably the horn as well, don't you? So you can learn how to hoot your horn in Portuguese as well. How did it go, Gary? Pretty well, I'm thinking. So thank you for that illumination of that process. Here we go from M Finance. Driving license from EU. Do you mean if an expat asks for a license in Portugal, they would not turn all their previous licenses into a Portugal one? Do we understand that question? Do you mean?
Yes, from the European countries, it's a easier process. Mm-hmm. They don't have to go through an exchange process. It's a much easier.
It is easier. I have got a bus license too. So I don't know if they're looking for work or they're concerned about losing
I can
it.
Introduce you to my client if you want.
Yeah, but you might lose that classification. That's the thing. You're gonna have to ask IMT about that. And Gary managed it by pressing buttons. You might too. Check with IMT on that one. I don't understand this. Is a pickled onion a thing in Portugal, Gilda?
Sorry?
You do have pickled onions here, don't you? You have the little ones. In England.
Oh, yeah.
The tiny little ones, like a cocktail onion. In England, they can be very, very big and very, very sour in something called a ploughman's lunch. But I don't know why V is mentioning it. Are they suspecting that it might be the secret to you looking awesome, that you're on a diet of no alcohol and pickled onions? I can see that.
Does it make you shrink?
It makes your face shrink for a moment as you go. Sometimes with grandma's pickled onions, but I don't know the relevance. We've had fresh milk and pickled onions this morning, which is not a good combination. What three buzzwords? Everyone's being quite random this morning, aren't they? I think we are losing context here, and we often do that. It has to be said, but we are reaching a new level.
Yes.
Level of context loss in America. Bus drivers are subjected to much harassment. Yeah, not a happy job in many countries now, but I suspect in Portugal it could be quite good fun. They took away a whole load of my licenses. I have beds delivered. This is random again. This is exactly what we're talking about. Going from having your license classifications taken away to having beds delivered at the end of the month. So next month, the clan are welcome down. Oh, thank you, Gary. Hold on a minute. That's from Pete to Gary, who's having some beds delivered. So everyone's welcome at Pete's house. There we go. Nunu, good morning, Gilda and Carl. Good morning, everyone. From Nunu, good morning to you. Looking like the Fonz there. Hey, this morning. And what was the name of the mortgage company you recommend, Carl? That'll be Jacqueline. I'll send the details to you, Gary. Personally, happy to do that. But that'll be Jacqueline Mullen of Mortgage Direct there. Ronnie's here as well. Look, Ronnie off to Holden Forest to do a run off to Portugal in April. It'll be great to see you, Ronnie, if you can pass by this way. Thank you for being here this morning. Two people from Devon this morning in the UK. Is Portugal good for frowing chilies? I think that's probably growing chilies. And we say yes, don't we, Gilda, to that? Are you happy to answer some garden?
What is that?
Chilies, pimenta.
Frowing is...
Growing
chilies. Oh, yeah. Yes.
Well, it could be throwing chilies. And I think in some parishes that is against the law. So please don't throw chilies. It can be dangerous, especially if it goes into people's eyes. I need a car loan company. As in, okay, well, Lease Plan, we've got a webinar with them. And Zest, we recommend for shorter car hire there, David. Simple, done. And expats everywhere can also help. Yes, indeed, our dear friends Josh and Kaylee over there. I know it's getting very random here. Come on, have we got any migration questions this morning? I mean, we're happy to answer any questions because we have a lot of fun doing it, including lifestyle and diet questions and pickled onions and milk and stuff. But if you've got any migration questions, that's great on Migration Monday here on the Good Morning Portugal live stream. No new pics of what I'm packing for me, but van is full for a second consignment. Okay, Gemini's here, everybody. Let's pick up the pace now. Gilda is a ray of Portuguese sunshine this morning. That beaming sets us up for the day. So that's good. Even if there are no migration questions, we get a lovely start to the day, basking in your glory there, Gilda. Paul's Bistro, there we go, in Cascais. Very lovely employees. We will show our appreciation for sure. Using a small screen is proving amusing. Fresh milk near me. I still doesn't explain anything, fresh milk near you. Maybe Gilda read the Portuguese. Maybe have... Look, come on, you're going to have to help us out a bit more here. These sending in like Zen koan poems to us, haikus, is not helping this morning, is it, Gilda? The Irish Embassy had a festival for St. Paddy's Day on Sunday. Okay, thank you for that. We can understand that comment there. Still too wintry to have a yard sale for Sue's there. Gilda, we will never know everything. We always need you. So there you go. And 1404. We're pretty good here. Bang,
Yeah.
bang. Yeah, we're doing pretty good. The Pearl River, North New York, just north of the state line from me, has the second largest Paddy's Day parade in the US. Always the weekend after the New York City parade. Fantastic. Okay. Sarah's here of the great bike knowledge. Anyone who wants to learn how to, not learn, but well, she would probably teach you. But anyone who wants to know more about riding a bicycle here, Sarah's your woman. We will be closing in on our first year of residency at the end of May. Anything we should be doing to make sure we get renewed after the second year? Great question. That's what we're talking about this morning. So yeah, you get to your first year. How should you be preparing for your second year meeting, Gilda?
That's very easy.
Okay.
Keep away from troubles.
Yes. Not you say it's easy. For some of this lot, that is not going to be easy.
Keep away from troubles. Keep away from debts. No debts from the tax office. Keep your rental agreements and keep money on your bank account. And that's
be a good citizen. Keep your nose clean and your powder dry, and you'll be fine. Is there a Portuguese equivalent of keeping your nose clean and your powder dry?
I don't think so.
It would be something like keep your fishing hooks shiny and sharp. Something like that, wouldn't it? No, it's obviously not that. Okay, Gilda's attorney is meeting me there. Well, look at this. Thank you, Carl, for this community that introduced me to the wonderful services offered. I'll let you know how it goes. Oh, B, thank you so much for saying that. And if you do want to join our community, as B has done and enjoyed, you can see that on the ticker tape below, expatsportugal.com. Community level is free, and then you get some brilliant discounts, benefits, and perks being a premium member. And the best members, the members who get the best service and the most comprehensive and the handheld step-by-step journey support are on the Premium Plus, which, by the way, you can now pay for on a monthly basis. We have turned our annual plans. Yes. Why didn't I start the show with this? Our annual plans are now available monthly, folks. If you've been hesitating, if money's a bit tight, if you just want to play monthly, you can do that now at expatsportugal.com. I'll have to show you that before we go. But Gilda, you were about to say something there, weren't you?
I wanted to ask who is the lawyer that goes with Robinson?
Or which particular one?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It's like, who? What? But yeah, which name? Which individual are you meeting with, B? That would be great. Biometric cards. So another question for you, Gilda. They are coming in now. People are getting sensible now. Biometric cards for Brits under the withdrawal agreement. Any more news on appointments?
Not yet. Not yet.
Okay. We can tell long before you answered the question, according to your smile, where we are with some of these things. But there's like a smile continuum for you. We will make a meme. We'll do the look that you give people who weren't drinking, and we will also do the Seth look as well. Gilda, how many things can be done online? Nif, do I start by calling the Portuguese consulate? Look, you start by calling EI, right? Is that the right answer here, Gilda?
You start by the Portuguese consulate online to check on the list. And then there are many things that you have to do in Portugal, but most likely you cannot do by yourself, like the NIF. And then opening the bank account. And then filing for a lease agreement. Those are the things that you probably are going to need help to do it. The other things, if you want, you can start collecting the documents by yourself, but you need to be very aware of the deadlines and which documents need to have an apostille, which documents need to be, what are the dates of the documents. So there are many things that you need. It's like a puzzle. Okay. Yes. So there are many things that you need to be aware of, and it's not easy to to explain it here, and it's not easy to do it online.
It's like clockwork, I think, isn't it? It's like there are many moving parts inside an old mechanical clock that you need to get exactly right before the chimes of congratulation happen and you arrive and live in Portugal. So there you go, LP. Hope that helps. Using the toll highway from Lisboa to Faro costs €22.35 in tolls for 276 kilometers. So there you go. And it's a great drive. It really is. And with great facilities along there. Thank you for that, Antonio. Bon dia from Pam. Nice one, Pam. Great to have you here. I rented a car my first trip and drove down the A2. Enjoyed the drive, but it was expensive and parking in Tavira was challenging. So I returned the car once in the Algarve. Okay, so there is the backstory on using the Alpha Pendula. Look at this. OLP, simple question. This is where we're happy with a 4-word answer. Comment here. You just need Gilda to the Oregonians living in Portugal, or soon to be living in Portugal. Currently, the Oregonians loving Portugal. OLP. There you go. I consulted Beatriz Ribeiro, and this was in 2021, and she set some requirements, and now I'm ready to go. How to approach? Again, do I send an email? Probably you're saying there, Sushu 1404. Is that one of your people, Beatriz Ribeiro?
Yes.
Okay. So get back in touch with the office is what we suggest, Sushu 1404 this morning, unless you've got a better idea than that, Gilda. I'm stepping in there answering your questions now.
No, send an email.
There you go. Get back in touch with Beatrice. And yes, there we go. That's the spirit. Grant Sharp. I just started the process to move from the UK. Marianne was very helpful on the consultation. Great service from EI. There you go. Great to hear that. Please pass that on to Marianne, if you will, Gilda. Not heard of any Ukrainians going to Russia. That is what I've heard, and I was surprised to hear that there are people who are returning to Russia from Ukraine, and it was reported on a news source that I wouldn't think had any interest in reporting such news.
Yes, it's true. It's true. It is happening.
Yep, the complexities of the situation. Is it straightforward to take my UK small business to Portugal? It's an online business. Great question, Ambiclad. Taking businesses from UK to Portugal, Gilda, especially online businesses, shouldn't be too much of a problem there. Register at the Finanzas and let them know what you're doing.
Yes, but what you need to analyze is that if you want to keep your business in UK and work remotely, or if you want to move your business to Portugal and work in Portugal because of tax implications. So I think you should talk with an accountant before making any movement.
Very good, Ambiclad. Great answer for you there. And yes, figure out exactly how you're going to structure and operate your business once you've got here. Kyoto, no way. So I have a bike license, like a proper 2-stage tested. And when I exchange licenses, I lose my bike section. Can't be those castigators. One car A and bike E, or the other way around. I can't answer the specifics of that, Kyoto flavor, but the point here is that some sections are lost, right, Gilda? And sometimes you do need to retest to get your classifications back. And that does seem to be a problem for motorcyclists coming to Portugal. So I think you cyclists need to organize yourselves in some sort of body which lobbies the government and reminds them how many people they might be losing who are unhappy about having to put training wheels back on their motorbikes, having been experienced riders for many, many years. Okay, question for you, Gilda. Bon dia, in your experience, have you found the immigration process is faster for some nationalities than others? Yes, let's do a quick top 10 of the fastest versus the slowest countries to respond here.
Yes, that's true. There are countries that are easy to get approval than others, I must say. And it's not discriminated by law, because that would be not allowed. But in practice, it happens. Like Iranians are very difficult. Pakistanis are very difficult to get the visas. Where else? Palestinians Also,
Okay, and the fastest?
the fastest, I would say British.
Really? It's a good old relationship going back to the 14th century. Yay, Britain. Well done. At least one thing to be happy about.
Yeah,
Probably old
I would
place
say
there.
British, and then Brazilians and North Americans.
Yes, where the processes are streamlined and established, of course, as well. Thank you for that. So there you go. That gives you an indication, Mo, as to your question. Right, back to VFS for David. I've emailed them multiple times. Their email says you can't call. I've sent 4 different help request emails. They are backed up or something because it should be easy to send me the label. What's going on here, and can you help, David?
Oh, it's because of the VFS.
Yeah, this is the VFS.
Second call. I sent for a different method. They are backup or something because it shouldn't be easy to send them the label.
And there's a bit more to this. The thing is, they sent me an email stating the label is attached, but there was no. Oh dear! So they think they've done it. Okay, this is the problem for him. He's stuck in a loop here and must not be actually reading my emails, telling them carefully. So what can he do? I just sent them another email this morning. I'll just keep sending them one a day until they figure it out. Is there anything more he can do than that?
Can he go there in person?
To the VFS? I mean, is that allowed? No, he's in Portugal.
He's in Portugal.
Yeah.
Maybe he should keep sending to the VFS and to the consulate.
Okay, so go
Also,
through.
he should involve the consulate.
Okay, so there you go, David. There's a little angle on that for you that might bring a little bit of leverage for you. Try the consulate as well. Should he call you? Can you have more pressure from your point of view? Is it good for him to get some representation?
Yeah, we can try to do that.
Okay, so try the consulate yourself, or get in touch with the EI, David, for that little bit of extra help there. And leverage. Gilda, a comedy movie recommendation. If you're still looking for these, Gilda, European Vacation, a bit of fun and silliness. Is that a buddy movie where they all get into a lot of trouble going around Europe? I'd like to see that, if that's the case. And let's see what's going on here now with other questions. Carl, you have to give Gilda the... Yes, oh, we're going back to that. My goodness, yeah. When I did my best, Chris, I really did. So, Gilda, no wine with carbs, or no wine and no carbs. Which is it, Gilda? Are you still eating Portuguese carbohydrates in the form of potatoes and rice?
No wine and no carbs.
My goodness, she's letting the secret out very slowly here. I know. My dad just wanted to see his GP about his driving license, and he renewed it, even though my dad was clearly not fit to drive. Luckily, he knows this. Amazing. Or your dad knows that, I presume. I haven't drank alcohol in about 14 years. Best choice ever made. Interesting. And Alok is here. Alok Kumar, Bob D, Carla, Gilda, good morning to you, mate. Those little tractor-esque old man cars are excellent when you live in a tiny, narrow street down in Portugal. Try getting a big 4x4 around the streets of, say, Sintra. I saw Sintra auto translated as Sinatra the other day with much merriment. OMG for the big 4x4. Get one of those little ones. I can see you in one of those, Doug. Alcohol in Finland is expensive. For example, cheapest bottle of wine is €9. Would rather wait to imbibe with Portuguese prices. Absolutely. Right, Sarah to David. VFS sent out FedEx labels to the embassy, which shredded the ones they felt were extraneous. We needed new labels to get our marriage certificate back, a document from the Pleistocene era. Not happy there. It took a good many emails to figure out what happened, but persistence did win out. So be persistent there. Bam. For anyone struggling with petrol prices, have you joined the iVoucher scheme? It was due to end this month, but maybe extended. Maybe Gilda knows, and at least you can get €20 back this month. So a petrol subsidy from the iVoucher. Is that likely to continue, Gilda, and would you recommend it?
Yes, I think from what I heard, it's going to continue.
Yes. Okay. Good news there. And you can access that through the Finances portal, I suspect. Okay. Do excuse me. Bon dia. Can you answer this one while I have a drink of water, please, Gilda?
Tips on what to do while waiting for a visa.
Yeah, I'm waiting for Carl to come back.
Yeah, I know this situation. India takes a lot of time. And it's just but they will answer, but it's just a matter of waiting.
Okay, there, Alok.
But they always answer, but it takes time.
Okay, in the end. Okay. And this is the problem, of course, Gilda, isn't it? You don't know that when you're in this process for the first time. And you're just thinking, they've lost my application. And this is the problem, isn't it? This is where, in an age where automation could really help with this, you know, that you could have an online step system where you could check that that they are up to date there and you are as well. That would be so helpful. But we're praying for that sort of level of automation to help humanity. Gilda, I don't have to have a universal driver's license to drive in Portugal, correct? No, you can just have your American one, right, Gilda?
Right.
Yes, you can have an international one if you want, or even a universal one. Does that allow you to drive around the galaxies? It sounds like she's got on the classification there on the OLP's driving license, Star Trek Enterprise, and the thing from the Star Wars films, which I can't remember, which people will give me a really hard time about. Okay, remember we are without our passports as well, so that's an added complication there, isn't it? What happens then with Alok? Oh, I see. You will be without your passports because of the application. Yeah, but again, I mean, the answer will be the same, right? They will respond, and you need to be patient. As easy as that is to say, I can.
Just tell me something, Alok. Did someone from our team make already a requirement to the embassy?
Okay. Let us know, Alok, further down in the chat. And everyone else, stop chatting for a minute so we can get to that. Because Chris is asking, when can we have a 3-hour show? It's looking like that today with the sheer volume of chat and comments. Not complaining, but give us space and let us. If what you could do, you know, in the old days when kids used to get passed to the front of the football terraces to watch the game, we need you to pass the comments that are useful to people and people who've got desperate questions to ask you. Pass them down, reiterate them for those people, please, at the bottom of the comment thread, because we were only up to 9:35 now, and we're in the comments, and in real time we're 10 o'clock. Okay, so pickled onions. I've got to read this out. They were an on the buses reference. Get that bus out of here. Thank you very much for that reference. I love that show. It's a TV show, Gilda, and they were trying to attract people on the buses in a particular episode by providing pickled onions, by the sound of it. I'm not sure that would have worked out terribly well. I can think of better things to offer would-be travelers. No, not anytime soon, Chris, who thinks that we should be joining the EU in the UK. That is time for the UK to rejoin the EU. This Brexit lark we cannot put up with anymore. Chris, can you imagine if that were to happen, the rigmarole involved in that? I think we can all safely assume we're going to be bogged down in upheaval and bureaucracy in this world for some time to come yet, post-pandemic and all that as well. Bon dia, Gilda and Carl. Thank you for a very straightforward comment. Appreciate that, Jim.
Bon dia, Jim.
How are you doing, Jim? It's great to see you here. I thought those little Diddy cars for people who had lost their license from drink driving. You could get from Lisbon to the Algarve in about 4 days. I don't think you do have to have a license for one of those. That's right, Pete. A question for Gilda. Can you please speak about Casamia and what services it can provide? I don't know what that is. Oh, Casamia. That's Casa Portuguesa.
Casa Portuguesa.
Yes, go on, Gilda. Casa Portuguesa, if you will.
Okay, we provide house hunting services to rental and to buy. If you want to buy, we make a report of the conditions of the house. We know engineers, of course, and we provide utility services. Utility services. We provide all the legal papers that need to be checked by the lawyers that have partnership with us. So it's like an EI, but not with persons, but for houses. It's in one place you find everything that you need for real estate.
Yeah. Okay. And there it is in our business directory, folks, on the screen for you now. Casa Portuguesa helping you find somewhere to live in Portugal. Obviously, a very important part of the process. And while we're there, let me just go back to our homepage to tell you about how you can pay for our memberships monthly now. Premium Plus. The one that I love working with people on, and we have a very specific Q&A troubleshooting session every Thursday evening at 9 o'clock. Gilda was with us last Thursday. That's €355 for the year, but you can pay for it. Well, actually, I see it as a lifetime membership. People who join that program a long time ago, and as far as I'm concerned, can keep accessing help for as long as they need it. But you can now pay for that at €37 a month. And for the premium membership that many of you enjoy and have used for all of these benefits here, including perks and discounts from the wonderful professionals we work with, like Gilda, that's €97 for the year. That is renewable annually. But you can do that for €17 a month now. Why not treat yourself to that if you haven't done so already this morning? So there you go. That's Casa Portuguesa and our new way of you paying for the services, the premium and premium plus memberships, which, you know, the testimonials we get and the glowing praise we get for that. We're very happy with those products that and services that we offer, as well as the community membership, which is absolutely free. Back to the questions then. SEF appointment in May, best time to apply for husband's reunification process. Is that a question, or are you saying May is the best time to apply? So what would you say? Straight away, Gilda, as soon as straight after the SEF, get involved in the reunification?
I must say, and I know that we might have some clients listening to this that are struggling for some time to make an appointment for family reunification. Okay, this is not EI's fault, it's SEF fault. They close the appointments and then they open the appointments for one day, and it's impossible for so many thousands of people to get an appointment. And then, so we have people that are here for like 8-9 months having their resident permit and that were not able to make the reunification process yet. We don't know what the future will bring us. Maybe the situation will get better with the new government, with the new structure of SEF. But for now, things are not looking very good with the family reunification. On the other hand, I must say that 7 years working in this with this company, I never saw someone lefting behind with not being reunified with their member of the family. So I know it's a situation that people get very anxious about, and it's understandable. But we need to be patient about this confusion with SEF and everything that is going on.
Okay, thank you for that, Gilda. And we're going to have to go into some quick fire now because we are past 10 o'clock. Are you okay for maybe 10 minutes more?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do these really quickly. Please, if you've got something really urgent, stick it at the bottom of the comments and we'll get to it. We're going to have to cut it short soon. Will we get a note from the SEF or SEF replacement to come in, or do we need to do something to get a residency renewal interview? I think that was referring to the 2-year threshold.
No, you are not going to get a note. You just need to... it's either to make an appointment or to make it online.
So you have to be proactive on that. They're not going to tell you. Thank you, Sarah. Yes. Thank you, Gilda. Gilda, please give a special thank you to Philippa, who came with us to our SEF meeting. So Marianne and and Beatrice, special messages from the community, from people in our community here for them. Please pass those on. Okay, we have, not sure the question got through. We have had lots of problems with the documents on the purchase of a property in Castanheira de Pera, but we've been told they should be cleared ready in early April. I expect to take around 3 months to get the house ready so that Stephanie and India Rose can join me to start living there permanently. How lovely. But what happens if I overrun my 90 days renovating the property and whilst the D7 visa application is going through? Would I have to leave the country during this period? Technically, yes. What actually happens though, Gilda? He's UK. He's UK.
Because of the extension that now it's going until the end of June, I think that he can stay.
All right, so up to June you're going to be fine, and then thereafter we might get another IMT style extension because of the problems, the overwhelmment of the system. So until June you're fine.
But then is he going to come in with the D7 application?
Yes,
with the D7 visa?
Yeah, they may overlap nicely then, Gary. So until the end of June, you're fine, and aim to get your D7 sorted out before June, before the June deadline is I think is the advice there, right, Gilda?
Yes.
Okay, Gary, hope that helps. Gilda, can I book an IMT appointment before I arrive in Portugal to change my license? Is this advantageous, or do I need to surrender my UK license when booking? You can do that in advance, can't you? There's nothing to stop that.
Actually, this is a good question, but I'm not sure if they ask for to the appointment, if they ask for the
in my experience,
yeah, you can try, but I'm not sure if they ask for the resident permit to make the appointment.
I went to Leiria. I went all over the place to little offices and then got sent to Leiria. Went to Leiria and actually, I didn't even have an appointment. I went in there and they saw us and they did our license exchange there and then. But I didn't have to surrender it before. I mean, it was quite a shock to surrender it there and then. But I was given a piece of paper as a placeholder, and then the licenses came in the post thereafter. But it was pre-Brexit. In Gilda's opinion, Pedro Lu, good morning to you. For a nationality application to the IRN, how long after posting can we expect an online application reference? We heard from you before, didn't we? So
yes.
This is the registry. How long are those processes taking, Gilda?
Last time I understood that it was from the sending of the application until the acceptance of the process. Okay. Now, I think it's from the acceptance of the process until the process is already finished. So I would say that if that is the question, when the process is already finished and you get the nationality, it's going to be about 2 years, 1 year and a half, 2 years.
All right, let us know if that is the answer you were looking for, Pedro. Question: can I meet in person in May with EI? Yes, you can. Go and see the lady at the office there, OLP. And Gilda and the EI team were invaluable for putting the puzzle together successfully with us. Thanks, Jim, for that. And I can highly recommend Gilda's services, worth every dollar. The attorney that's meeting there is Carolina Cruz. There you go. And Cindy can as well. I recommend Gilda and the EI team as well. That's lovely to hear. Shout out to everybody there, all the ladies, and they are all ladies. I am correct in saying that. Hello, everyone from Palapar, Elena as well. And Gary, I'm going to have to show you pictures tomorrow. Lots of ethnic Russians in Ukraine, hence the movement back and forth there. Does Good Morning Portugal have any links to such accountants that Gilda is recommending we use? Well, we do have accountants in our business directory. Take a look in there, please. And Bondi, in your experience. Oh, yes. Okay, Moaz, we dealt with that one. And good morning, everyone. This may well be the last one for this morning. We do this every Monday, remember. Can someone apply for a D7 but pause it after applying, as they need to be in UK to look after a disabled parent? If you can pause it, do you know how long, please? Sadly, golden visa is not an option. Thank you so much. Really looking forward to our first visit later this year. So pausing the D7, is that possible? We're just having a little look over your comment there, Mayura Patel. Let's make it a bit easier for you. So can you pause that process, Gilda?
Well, not really. What you can do is you apply for the D7 and then you get your resident permit. And with the resident permit, you need to be in Portugal for 6 months in a row or 8 months if, help me with the words. Or
sorry, go on. I was just looking at other comments, so I wasn't concentrating. I beg your
or
pardon.
8 months if not consecutive. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
If interpolated.
Word.
And
Uses.
this is not. This is by law. If you need to be away more than that, okay. When it comes in 2 years' time, when it comes time to renew it, they will give you a chance to explain why you were not in the country for the minimum stay. And one of those things in the law that you can explain why you were not there for those minimum staying is for family reasons. So if you prove that you were taking care of someone from your family, which seems to be the case, they will analyze and most likely they will renew your D7. But it's not like you can suspend the D7. It will carry on. And if you did not respect the minimum staying, what you can do is that you can explain to the authorities why you didn't do it.
Yep. Okay. So you'd be reaching out on compassionate grounds, I think. And we know that to be a good route here in with the Portuguese government, you can expect, I think, some sympathy from that point of view, but you can't pause it technically.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. We're going to have to leave it there, folks. We're nearly 10:15. And Gilda has work to do in the office, I suspect, and all these congratulations and best wishes to pass on to the rest of the team. I think we've helped David and Alok. I saw your further comments there, so thank you very much for that, for getting back to us on that feedback. And my advice to everybody is let's not hang about on a Monday morning. Get those questions in straight away so that we're not in this predicament again. It does feel a little bit but of course you can approach me, drop me a line, and or you can approach Gilda and the EI team directly from our business directory, and you can get a discount on the services by becoming a premium or premium plus member, of course. So a thank you, Gilda, and a thank you, Mayura. And the last question, so are you full keto then? What's the question about? Because you're getting questioned about your lifestyle now as well, Gilda. You're on an entirely different note. Giving up the booze, giving up the carbohydrates, is that part of a very specific regime you're looking at, or is it just something you've put together for yourself?
It's just something I put together for myself.
There you go. And that's probably the best way to do it, isn't it? You found something that's clearly working for you. And I thank you so much for being here this morning. We'll see you again next Monday. Have a great week. Love to all the team there. And thank you to this wonderful community for all your questions. See you next Monday if your question wasn't answered. And get those questions in early. You know what to do. We'll do those pictures of Porto tomorrow. Oh, go on, Gilda, what?
Next week, try to do the migration questions earlier.
Yes. Yeah, lifestyle questions are okay, but it is about migration, quite honestly, on a Monday. And I've got a nice sunset picture from the OLP who asked a lot of lovely questions this morning. So we'll get that sunset from your deck, I think, from the back of the house there. A view that you will put behind you one day if you take Gilda up on our offer of help to get you over to Portugal here, OLP. And that's going to be on the screen at the end of the show. Gilda, thank you so much.
Adeus, beijinhos.
Adiós, tchau, 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 tchau for now.